How are the Springboks going to beat the All Blacks this weekend at Ellis Park? Now, currently we are traveling, which is why I'm in an airport lounge. We're just in Durban, filmed the whole day with the Sharks. That video is going to be coming soon, and I'm very, very excited to release that one. And now we're heading to Joburg for the Springboks versus All Blacks game, which is building up to be one of the best clashes we've seen in a very, very long time. As always, let me know your guys' predictions down in the comments, your opinions on the team and how you think we can beat the All Blacks. If you haven't, please absolutely mud that subscribe button. I'm trying to bring the best content I can to you guys as often as I can, so I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, leave this video a like, and let me know if you're going to Ellis Park. I'd love to meet a couple of you, interview you guys on the channel, see what your thoughts are for the game. So I'm in a little bit of a mixed predicament at the moment with how I see us beating the All Blacks here. So the squad got released yesterday, and I think Cameron Wright broke down the squad phenomenally well for us on the channel yesterday. Gave us some insights that I personally couldn't give you guys. I mean, he plays with a lot of the guys that are in the Springbok lineup, and he gave us some very good insights into how he sees that game going and how the likes of Apelele Fassi, Grant Williams, and more of the Sharks players are going to handle the clash against the All Blacks this weekend. Now, I think there's two ways that we could go about this. We're obviously developing this new system with Tony Brown, which is a lot more running rugby, which is why I think Sasha Feinberg Ngumazulu has been chosen in that number 10 jersey. You see the forwards passing a lot more. There's a lot more linked play. But how we typically beat the All Blacks is up front. We keep it nice and tight, we wear them down, and then we counteract their last 20-minute spurt with the bomb squad, which I think we are going to do this weekend. If you look at the bomb squad, I mean, Malcolm Marx, Gerrit Steenkamp, Vincent Koch, Marco van Staden, Ulrich Loh, and Kwagga Smith. I mean, those are the guys you want coming off of the bench. Ulrich Loh, yes, he's quite inexperienced at the moment, but I do think he's a very good impact player coming off the bench. I was very impressed with him in those two Australia tests. You Marco van Staden, who is an impact player out and out. I mean, Cam said it yesterday, there's a reason he's called Escom, because he turns people's lights off. You got Malcolm Marx, probably the best hooker in the world at the moment, and probably one of the best impact players in the world at the moment. And then Kwagga Smith, I mean, that guy's always going to come off the bench and make an impact. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Springboks go about this. Are they going to continue with this Tony Brown system of this running rugby? I mean, Kurtley Arends, Chez and Colby, Damien Delende and Jesse Creel are all sort of running players. You've got Damien Delende, who Tony Brown has said has the best pass in the Springbok team, so he's very good at distributing to those wider channels. And why I'm inclined to think that we're going to stick to this running type of rugby is because Sasha is starting in the number 10 position, and more so because Apelele Fassi is in that number 15 jersey. I think if they had picked Andre Pollard and Willie Leroux, we might have seen a lot more tactical kicking. We might have seen more forward-based ball, not so expansive. But I think Rassie Erasmus and Tony Brown are 100% into this new attacking style of rugby, right? I think we aren't going to try and win it too much up front. Yes, we have a very experienced front row in Ox, Bongi and France, but I think they're going to try to get us penalties when it's scrum time. I don't necessarily think they're going to be carrying that much. Pieter-Steph du Toit and Ruan Nokia in that 4 and 5 jersey, maybe not as much meat as we would have with an Eben Etzebeth and a Salwan Murat or an Argeir Snyman. So Siya Kolisi, Ben Jason Dixon and Jasper Visser. Yes, Jasper Visser is a freight train, but he's also a very versatile player. Ben Jason Dixon is a lot like Pieter-Steph du Toit. He can also pass, he can step, he can break tackles, he can really break the game open. And then we know what Siya Kolisi brings to the table. So I think what we can expect from the Springboks on Saturday is this continuation of running rugby, this continuation of trying to break the boundaries and the mold of what a South African team is. I think we're going to play, especially in the first maybe 40 to 60 minutes, a lot of running rugby. We're playing at Ellis Park. It's high altitude. We've got Sasha there at 10. We've got Kobus Reinach at 9. Maybe not as nippy as Grant Williams or explosive as Grant Williams, but Kobus Reinach is still a class number 9. And he's going to bring that experience and that cool, calm and collectedness to kind of help Sasha out. The other alternative is the rugby that beat New Zealand in the World Cup final. Bash it up, penalty-based game. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a test match with a lot of flair involved. I don't think we have the pack at the moment to play that type of rugby, which is why I do think we're going to be playing that running type of rugby. The All Blacks are obviously going to try and counter that. They still haven't released their team, so I think they'll release it tomorrow, and I will be making a video on that. But we know what the All Blacks bring. They bring high intensity. They love these big games. They elevate their game, especially against South Africa. Their forwards try and get some go forward ball, and then we know how dangerous their backs can be. I'm expecting Damian McKenzie to be playing in that number 10 role, so maybe Sasha is a good opposite number for Damian McKenzie, because Sasha is also extremely nippy. He's got a good step. He's physical. He can keep up with Damian McKenzie, where I think Handré Pollard is a little bit more sluggish than the likes of a Damian McKenzie. So trying to neutralize Damian McKenzie is going to play a massive role in whether the Springboks win or lose this game. I also think this is a massive game for Sasha, massive test for Sasha, because yes, he's played well against Australia. He had a good game against Portugal, came off the bench against Ireland, but now he's starting against the All Blacks, and we know that both sides elevate their game for this clash. It's the biggest rivalry in international rugby, and there's a reason for that. So I do like that Rassie and them have stuck to their guns with Sasha. This is really going to test him, and I think if Sasha can have a good game like he did against Australia, then he's really going to be cemented as that #1 choice fly-off for the Springboks. I think he might have to kick a little bit more against the All Blacks just so that we can keep them pinned back. But I think they're going to allow him to express himself. At the end of the day, he is a playmaker. He likes to counter-attack. He's very good on his feet. He's very good with ball in hand. And I think if Sasha Fynbongumazulu has a good game, the Springboks will win this. I think if he's struggling a little bit, we will see Pollard be introduced into the game a little bit earlier, but my prediction is that Sasha is going to get 60 minutes and Pollard's going to come on for that final 20 minutes to then hopefully we have the lead, keep New Zealand pinned back. When we win penalties, Pollard's going to kick for poles. I think Grant Williams and Handré Pollard are also a very good insurance policy on the bench. We've seen Grant Williams come off the bench, one of the best impact players, probably up there with Kwagga Smith for the Springboks. He can change the game. The dynamics that he brings compared to Kobus Reinach is completely different. So I think he's going to show New Zealand a little bit something different when he comes on, which could ultimately change the game. I would love to see Grant Williams come on before Handré Pollard so that we can see that connection between Grant Williams and Sasha Fynbongumazulu, the two out-and-out playmakers. And then Pollard's going to come on, and with his cool, calm, collected head, he is going to try and steer us to that victory. I don't think this is going to be a runaway for the Springboks. I think the lock crisis that we have at the moment, and it is a crisis, because Peter Steff is now playing 4, Rowan O'Keefe is playing 5. We don't have another lock on the bench, which probably means that Ben Jason Dixon will move into a lock position if need be. Ulrich Lowe could play slot into a lock. So while it is a very good team, we do have that key area of the locks that is a crisis at the moment, and I think it's going to affect our lineout. Hopefully not too much, because if we're not getting clean lineout ball, then the backs aren't going to get clean lineout ball, and then our whole game plan will fall apart. So I'm expecting New Zealand to really attack our lineout, put us under some pressure. We're going to have new jumpers in the air. Rowan O'Keefe is going to have to call the lineouts, which yes, he did against Australia, but now against the All Blacks at Ellis Park, the height of the game is just a lot more. So I do think the Springboks are going to be under a tremendous amount of pressure to get a result here. The All Blacks are coming, they're hungry, they know how to beat us. Similarly, we know how to beat the All Blacks. It's going to be a clash of the Titans. And I'm pretty sure we're going to play some running rugby and try and almost beat New Zealand at their own game. We saw it just before the World Cup, where we went into halftime 14-0 up against the All Blacks. We can do it. And I think we're going to. We're in good form. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, but that is my prediction for the game. We're not going to play forward-based rugby. We are going to continue with this Tony Brown system, and I do think that's how we beat the All Blacks with this team, is to stick to our guns. It's why Sasha's starting. It's why Ben Jason Dixon's at 7. It's why we have that bomb squad on the bench to really nullify New Zealand in the final 20 minutes. Let me know what you think. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, leave us a like, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Springbok versus New Zealand video. Peace.